That's tough, kid. My day has been fine. I played some more Ace Attorney with Bailey today. And then we watched episodes 2 and 3 of season 4 of The Boys. We'll see about tomorrow, because I know we got a Nintendo Direct. Hang on before, yeah. We'll see. I just want Tomodachi Life. Keep wanting, buddy. It's not gonna happen. If I believe hard enough. Uh, I mean, look, I want Tomodachi Life too, and if we get it, I'll stream it. But I don't think it's gonna happen. But I want it. I would love a Tomodachi Life too. I would love to do a sequel to Potsdam Island and bring back some of my favorite characters. The Beatles will return. I'm sure they'll return in some capacity no matter what. Like, if we don't get Tomodachi Life sequel, I'll still bring them back some way, somehow. Anyway, we should probably get to Higurashi. Also, I'm not doing face cam tonight. I don't want to. Continue. I think Higurashi would be good if they replaced the 4 girls with the Beatles. Someone should do sprite replacement mod for Higurashi. Who would be who? I feel like Mion would be John Lennon, but I don't know. In the end, all of the onigiri was eaten by the principal, so I had to make do without lunch. Skipping lunch. I never knew the afternoon could be so long and painful. A feeling other than drowsiness made me space out. Oh, that's loud. Let me turn that down. There we go. Are you alright, Kichi-kun? That's why I said you shouldn't eat Rena's curry. As if I could eat this curry with enough salt in it to make my blood pressure rise just by looking at it. This is what I said as I initially refused. I could only regret it. The hunger, the stomach ache. Well, well. You did a good job making it through. Your absolutely hopeless situation, that is. I'm trying to think, but I stop it for Mion as John Lennon. No, it's tough, right? I think... See, my heart wants the other 3 all could possibly be Rika. Right? Ringo is Rena. Satoko is Paul. And George is Rika. Kei-chan, you're pretty strong when you're cornered, eh? I don't need any compliments right now. I need food. There's something for you to eat at home, right? We don't keep snacks lying around at home. And I'm out of cup noodles right now. Since you're enduring that hunger so much right now, I'm sure tonight's dinner will be really tasty. I had absolutely no intention of laughing along. Well, then I'll take my leave. I have my part-time job again today. It's really rough when you're not used to the work. Ah, that job at that Angelmore family restaurant, huh? That uniform was somewhat stimulating. Okay, Keiichi. Being a waitress really is hard work. Eh? Mi-chan is working as a waitress? Really? Really? What kind of place is it? No, I'm working at that toy store from the other day. Shion is the waitress. Ah, my bad. I completely forgot that was how it ended up being. Keiichi's the blue meanie. I'm sorry. You guys look so similar, I mixed you up. Keiichi-kun. Who's Shion? Rena asked the obvious question. Mion's younger twin sister. She's got a different personality, but she's a dead ringer for Mion. That's right. We look similar, but our personalities are completely different. I'm very kind and thoughtful, but Shion has a cold and scary personality. Is that so? I think that when you guys were born, Shion got all the feminine aspects. Unlike Mion, she's a cute, cheerful girl. Ha ha, ha ha ha. Yeah, I don't think this Shion person is real. No, I'm starting to get the feeling that she may be a myth. Rena interjected as her eyes darted back and forth from our exchange. Hmm? Is that true? Rena's never met her. Mii-chan, did you ever tell me you had a younger sister? Shion's existence was already being exposed as a cover-up. I couldn't help Mion out here. I could only have her end this charade. Oh, yeah. I still haven't introduced her to you, Rena. My younger sister's name is Shion. I don't know. I never heard of her. I never met her when I went to Mii-chan's house. Shout out to Rika thinking Shion's real. I don't know if Rika thinks she's real or if she just has Mion's back. It could be either. Yeah, that. You know, I'm the only one that lives with Granny. Shion lives at the family home in Okinomiya. We're not that close, so yeah, she doesn't come here too often. Rena's face indicated she wasn't sure if she was convinced. She was usually a bit of an airhead, but she was unusually sharp when it came to these kind of things. Well, it's not a lie. Please believe me. When she said, yeah, I believe you, a smile suddenly blossomed on Rena's face. Rena wants to meet her. I'll go and see her sometime. What store is she working at? What store? That is... she's getting more tangled in her little web. I could tell that Mion was getting increasingly frantic. I wanted to help her out, but it was hard for an outsider to butt in on family issues. Sorry. I have to get to work. Later. Rena, Kei-chan. See you tomorrow. Unilaterally ending the conversation, Mion headed home. No matter how you looked at it, she was running away. We'll just label this one as an emergency escape. Mii-chan was kind of cute. I wonder why, With that face cam, your voice comes across as omnipotent. Yeah, I'm God. Then I giggled in amusement. Back home. I wonder when dinner is. Would lying down be the best way to conserve energy? I sprawled in the entryway without even taking off my shoes. As I was losing the last vestiges of my consciousness, the doorbell rang. It seemed I had a guest.
Hi, dozo.
Come on in. It's open. I directed my listless voice at the door. She's real! Good afternoon. Huh? Kei-chan, what are you doing? It seemed my guest was Mion, or rather, Shion. She seemed shocked when she saw me sprawled out in the entryway. Show me your sprites. That's a completely different top in the original. The console really changes the outfit. That's interesting. It's more faithful in the remake. I completely lose her gold necklace there, or whatever that is. Interesting. That's a completely different outfit.
Shion?
Is this Shion? Wait, why? I thought that Shion's existence was an illusion that was limited to when Mion was at the restaurant. That's why I never even considered that Shion would appear here.
お姉に聞きましたよ。
That's my least favorite change with the console sprites. I heard from my sister.
今日のお昼、部活で大変なことがあって、ご飯食べられなかったんですよね。
Because of the club activity today, you weren't able to eat lunch, right? Oh, it's so different. Look at that, that's so different.
ああ、大変だったぞ。
Yeah, it was a lot of trouble.
さとこに鍋を倒され、ご飯はお前に盗まれて。
Sadako spilled my pot and you stole my rice.
だから私、シオン。
But I'm Shion. He grew red and began to mope. That's right, she was the younger twin right now.
すまんすまん。
Sorry.
それでなんだよ。
What's up?
空腹の俺のために差し入れでも持ってきてくれたのか？
Did you bring something for me to eat?
ありゃ、
Food!
図星を疲れちゃってなんだかがっかりですけど。
I get to eat! Oh, the gods have blessed me on this day. Oh my. It's somewhat disappointing that you hit the nail right on the head, but here. With a disappointed smile, Shion held out the small bento box she had hidden behind her back. Huh?
本当に差し入れなのかよ。
You really brought something to eat?
サンキュー。
Thanks.
お姉が学校に持って行ったハンバーグの残りがあったんで、ちょっと持ってきました。
There was still some of the ground beef left over from what my sister brought to school.
お夕飯前だとは思いますけど、いかがかなって思いまして。
I knew it was going to be right before dinner, but I wondered if you'd want it.
迷惑でしたか？
Am I bothering you?
迷惑なんてめっそうもない。
Not even a bit.
すげえ嬉しいよ。
I'm really happy.
本当に食っていいのか？
Can I really eat this? Sneaking a look inside the box, to say that she just put some leftovers inside would have been a lie. There was an elegant meal stuffed inside.
本当にいいのか？
Is it really okay?
これタバスコとかがいっぱい入ってるとか、そういう冗談じゃないのかよ。
There's not like a ton of hot sauce mixed in or anything, right?
も
Jeez.
う、お姉じゃないんですから。私そんなことしませんよ。
I'm not my sister. I wouldn't do that kind of thing. Are you real? I don't know.
別に嫌なら無理しなくても。
If you don't like it, you don't have to force yourself.
帰って自分で食べちゃいますから。
I'll just go home and eat it myself. Saying that, she pouted cutely and made a motion as if to snatch the box back. There were some times that made me doubt that she was the same person as Mion, and this was undoubtedly one of those moments.
全然嫌じゃないです。
I don't mind at all.
感謝の心を忘れずに噛み締めたいと思います。
I want to chow down on it with thanks from the bottom of my heart.
そんな鼻水垂らされて感謝されるほどのことじゃ。
It's not something to be so thankful about that your nose has to run. Shion, who had thought that I might not take the bento, looked down happily.
何もないけど上がってくか。
There's not much, but do you want to come in?
お茶くらいなら出せるかも。
I can probably make some tea or something.
ごめんなさい。またの機会にします。
Sorry, maybe some other time.
私、バイトに行く途中ですから。
I'm on my way to work. Oh, that's right. She did say that before.
お弁当箱は適当に水洗いして、明日お姉にでも返しといてくださいね。
Just rinse the box out with water and give it back to my sister tomorrow, please.
当然だぜ。
Of course.
こんなうまそうなのを食わせてもらったら、それぐらい礼儀だろう。
It'd only be the proper thing to do after being allowed to eat something that looks this delicious.
じゃあ私はこれで。
Well, then I'll take my leave.
あと最後に。
One last thing. Shion grew red again as she looked down once more.
お姉がカレーの時、黙ってケイちゃんのご飯取っちゃいましたよね。
During that contest with the curry, my sister took your rice without permission, right?
悪ふざけが過ぎるとお姉、ついやりすぎちゃうんです。
My sister fools around too much, so sometimes she gets carried away.
決して悪気があったわけじゃ。
He wasn't doing it just to be mean.
おいおい。
Hey.
別に俺はあんなの何とも思っちゃいないぜ。
It's not like I mind that too much.
部活の上でのことは恨みっこなしだからな。
There are no grudges when it comes to club activities, after all.
毎回スリリングに楽しませてもらってるのをこっちが感謝したいぐらいだぜ。
In fact, I should be the one that's thankful for all the thrills and entertainment.
そうミオンに伝えてくれるか。
Could you tell that to Mion for me?
はい。
Yes.
それ お姉きっと喜ぶと思います。
I think my sister will be very happy to hear that.
ではこの辺で。
Well, then I have to go. Shion smiled brightly. After bowing deeply, she left as she looked at her watch.
嬉しいけど、これ本当に大丈夫なんだろうな。
I'm happy, but is this really okay? I looked at the bento box that she left behind. I love when the game acts like the last chapter didn't happen. No, I'm not over it. I've been sitting here thinking the whole time about when Keiichi beat Mion and Rena to death with a bat. I've been thinking about it. A faint warmth spread through the palm of my hand. If it were Mion, I could see hot sauce, mustard, maybe even a needle being mixed in. Okay. But really, I don't think she would go as far as putting a needle in there. Okay. 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 I get it. I get it. You're not funny. I opened the box once again and hesitantly tasted a bit. I took a bite. And another. There was no funny business. There was no danger at all, for it was delicious. That's right. That was Shion, not Mion, so there shouldn't have been anything to worry about. I rushed back to my room, eating as I gave my thanks. It was so delicious that my stomach could cry.
シオン、いや、ミオン。俺が空腹で死にそうって言ってたのを聞いて、大急ぎで持ってきてくれたのか。
Shion. No, Mion. She heard I was so hungry I could die. She brought this over to me. It was delicious the last bite. Now you're saying you love when the game acts like the last chapter didn't happen, and then it pulls that fucking line? I'm so pissed off. Either way, nothing strange had been mixed in. I was a bit embarrassed at myself for being so skeptical. I love when they give us this intermission screen. Wow, new tip. Wow. I love when the game remembers the last chapter but just pretends it didn't happen. It loves to do that.
Oi, Mion.
Hey, Mion. Here.
何よケイちゃん。
What is it, Kei-chan? I thrust the bento box she'd given me yesterday at her face.
昨日差し入れてもらった弁当箱だよ。ごちそうさま。
It's the bento box you gave me yesterday. Thank you.
うまかったぜ。
It was delicious.
あ、
Mion's face quickly flushed bright red. Hey now, you were the one pretending to be Shion when you gave it to me. You're gonna give it away if you get all red like that when you're being Mion. At this rate, she might trip and fall right into her own grave, so I decided to help her out.
あのな、俺、昨日腹を空かせてたらさ。
Listen, I was pretty hungry yesterday.
シオンがわざわざ家まで来て、弁当を差し入れてくれたんだよ。
Out of the blue, Shion came all the way to my house and gave me some food in a bento box. They've done that photo negative jump scare thing like 5 times already this chapter. No, they love to do that because it's so funny.
で、これはその弁当箱。
This is that box.
ちゃんと洗ってあるからな。
I made sure to wash it clean.
そうなんだ。シオンは気が利くね。
Right. Shion's really considerate, huh? That was so transparent. Was Mion always this terrible at lying? Her expression was different than usual, but it looked strangely cute.
で、どうだった？
So, what did you think?
ミオンに瓜二つなやつだと思うぞ。だって双子なんだろ。
Two are like peas in a pod. You're twins, right?
似てて当然だよ。
Obviously, you look the same.
じゃなくて、
Not that. Mion looked kind of bewildered, like she was waiting for a specific answer. When she said impression, maybe she didn't mean Shion, but the bento?
ああ、もちろん。うまかったぜ。
Oh, of course. It was delicious.
本当に？
Really?
俺 俺は食い物の感想には嘘はつかないぞ。俺がうまかったって言ったら誰が食ったってうまい。
I never lie about liking food. If I say something's good, then it's objectively good.
万人におすすめできる評価だと思っていいぞ。
You can feel free to give my recommendations to every single person you meet.
シオンに実に美味しかったって伝えておいてくれ。
Tell Shion it was seriously great, alright?
シオンにね、
Okay. Tell Shion, right?
伝えておくよ。
I will.
きっと喜ぶと思うよ。
I think she'll be happy. We're going along with Shion having giving it to me, not Mion, aren't we? It came from deep down, and it sounded really happy. Oh, I skipped the laugh part. Oopsie. I guess she really can laugh nicely enough that just looking at her makes me feel better, too. The sarcastic remark made its way onto my tongue, but I swallowed it back. As Mion went to put the bento box in her bag, she noticed a clattering noise.
ケイちゃん、なんか入ってるよ。あれ？
Hey-chan, there's something inside. Huh? Wow. Ah, she opened it! The thing inside was a little embarrassing, so I wish she hadn't opened it here. Panicking, I hid it with my hands.
な、これはだな。うちのお袋がお礼に入れとけって言ったんだ。
Well, this is... Well, my mother told me to put them in as thanks.
別に俺のセンスじゃないんだからな。
I didn't come up with it or anything.
誤解すんなよ。
Don't get the wrong idea.
綺麗。飴だ。
So pretty. Candy. There's a handful of candies, neatly wrapped in paper inside the sparkly clean bento box. When I was cleaning the box out yesterday in the sink, Mom came over and interrogated me, and I fessed up as to who had given me the food. Then she told me that something like this called for a display of gratitude. I didn't want to because it was embarrassing, so I argued that it wouldn't be like me to do that.
というわけなんだ。まあ、その。
Well, that's what happened. I mean, I was so embarrassed it felt like fire might shoot out of my face. Mion laughing the whole thing off like she usually did would be fine, but for some reason she was staring at the candy in the box with fascination.
ありがとう。
Thank you.
俺に言うな。入れたお袋に言ってくれ。
Don't thank me. Thank my mom. She put them in there.
それにミオンが俺を言う必要なんかないんだぞ。
Besides, you're not the one I need to be thanking, right, Mion?
それはシオンにあげるものなんだからな。
Those are for Shion, okay?
うん。そうだよね。
Right, you're right.
うん。
Okay,
シオンに伝えておくね。
I'll be sure to tell Shion.
きっとシオンも嬉しがると思うよ。
I'm starting to suspect this Shion character isn't real. I just know she'll be happy. Mion, looking a little downtrodden, put the lid back on the box. Seemed like I ended up saying something a little mean at the end. Keiichi, you fool.
今日はなんだかみーちゃん、ほんわかな感じだね。いいことでもあったのかな。
Keiichi, you look sort of cozy today. Did something happen?
かな。
Did it?
風邪でもひいたんではありませんね。
Sadako spotted.
お顔が赤いのはきっと微熱のせいでしたよ。
Perhaps she's caught a fever? The red on her face is probably due to the increased body temperature.
リカ、なんで私の頭を撫でますの？
I think our little buddy Keiichi might like somebody. What? No. I thought he was gay. Hey Rika, why are you petting my head? Because you're stupid.
きっとそのうちお風邪をひけるようになりますですよ。
Tatsuko, I'm sure you'll be able to catch fever soon enough. Ha ha. What good times. I love happiness. And then we're back to the tips menu. This music is so ominous. I don't think I've ever listened to it past this point. This music is so ominous. Let's continue. I might have explained this before, but Phys ed at our school is really just an exercise in disorder. After some random warm-ups, the rest of the time is spent doing whatever. You're free to cause a ruckus or just fall asleep.
よくは知らないけど、教育委員会とかに教育指導要項とかあるだろ
Just to remind you what you're playing. I forget sometimes. I can't lie. Sometimes in these good times, I forget the game I'm playing. Doesn't the Board of Education have some sort of curriculum for this?
何歳ならこれくらいの運動能力はなければいけないみたいなさ。
Something like when you're this old, you should have this amount of physical ability.
圭一さんが何を言ってるのか難しくてさっぱりですわよ。
I have no idea what you're saying, Keiichi-san. It's rather difficult to understand.
ね
Well, you see,
先生の授業の進め方のルールみたいなものなの。
it's something like a rule for teachers to follow during class. What are you guffawing about?
都会の軟弱な連中にはそういうのは必要だろうけどさ。
Maybe you weakling city folk need something like
田
that.
舎育ちのうちらが身体能力で劣ると思う？
But do you think, really, but do you really think us country-raised kids would lag behind in physical ability? I don't know if you're lazy.
圭一が思ってるよりも運動神経はいいのです。
We're better athletes than you would think, Keiichi. I guess. Come to think of it, they might be right. If we all line up for a race, there's a good chance I'd finish dead last if I didn't start off well. Let's just pray that when a brutal penalty game is at stake, the 100-meter dash isn't a club activity.
ではそういうことで、俺はテレビの見過ぎで実に素敵に眠い。
On that note, I watch too much television, so I'm fantastically tired.
睡眠時間の補給をさせてもらうぜ。
I'll be using this time to catch up on my sleep.
空腹絶頂の4次元目。
It's fourth period and I'm completely starved.
今寝ずにいつ寝るよ。
If I don't sleep now, when will I ever? As I get to sprawl out on top of a pipe, Mion grabbed me by the collar.
ち
な
ちち
Yeah, same thing.
まさかおとなしく眠らせてもらえると思ってる？
Do you really think I'd let you sleep in peace and quiet?
その顔で言われたら、おとなしく寝る方が勇気がいりそうだ。
With that look on your face, it'd require more courage to try and take a nap than not. Good grief. Which means, is it gonna start again?
さて、
Now!
このまま井戸端会議でチャイムを待つなんて、熱き血潮のたぎった私たちには無理だよね。
Just killing time with idle chit-chat until the bell rings is impossible for us hot-blooded youth, isn't it?
部活タイム、行ってみよっか。
Shall we start a club activity?
チェ、案の定来やがったな。
Just as I thought, it's come to this.
今日のゲームは何だ？
What's today's game? Now that this is happening, taking a nap is impossible. Not just that, with this sleep-deprived head of mine, I'm as good as mincemeat. I have to get my brain into gear.
レナはそれより今日の罰ゲームは何かなの方が先だと思うな。
Rena thinks we should decide what today's penalty game should be before we start.
レナは分かってるね。
Rena knows what's up.
今日もとびっきりのを用意してるよ。
I've prepared something super special today. She began to announce the cruel penalty game with a grand spinning flourish. Before she could do that,
ごめんなさいです。
I'm sorry.
僕はちょっとやりたいことがありますです。
I had something that I wanted to do. Of all people, it was Rika-chan announcing her non-participation. Almost a freaking Rena talks like the Hulk. That's a comparison I hadn't thought of before. Even rare events do eventually occur. Losing her timing, Mion spun like a top as she tumbled to the ground.
あれれれれれれれれれ。
What?
何？どうしたの？
Huh? What's the matter?
今日は調子悪いの？
You're not feeling well?
あ、そうか。
Oh, that's right.
みーちゃん、綿流しの練習だよ。
Mii-chan, she has to practice for the Watanagashi. Oh yeah, that thing! That thing!
そうですわよ。
That's right.
今度の日曜日ですもの。
It's this Sunday.
リカは猛特訓中なのですわよ。
Rika's in the middle of super serious training right now.
最近は頑張りすぎてお腕が痛いのです。
You know what's fascinating? We haven't seen Tomitake. Curious. Maybe he'll show up soon. Maybe he won't. Maybe he's gone for real. I've been working too hard lately, so my arms hurt.
そっか。
I see.
じゃあ仕方ないな。
Well, there's nothing that can be done.
全員揃わないなら仕方ない。
There's no point in doing anything if we can't get everybody together.
今日は各人のんびりしようかね。
Today, let's just take it easy.
ごめんなさいなのです。
I'm very sorry. Show me your sad sprite in the original. Ha! Look at you. God, these old sprites are something, aren't they?
でも頑張りますですよ。
I'll try my best.
頑張ってね。
Yeah, good luck.
レナたちも応援してるからね。
We'll be cheering you on. When Mion announced that today's club activity was cancelled, Rika-chan and Satoko headed off behind the school building. Okay, bye kids. Only I was left alone, completely clueless as to what everybody was talking about.
一体何なんだ？
I need Tomitake mode to turn on once again. No, Tomitake mode has been off for too long. What was that about?
リカちゃんは何か大会前とかで特訓をしてるのか？
Rika-chan training for a competition or something?
リカちゃんは綿流しの巫女さんだから奉納の演舞をすることになっててね。
Rika-chan is a shrine maiden for the Watanagashi, so she has to perform a ritual dance.
その練習なの。
It's practice for that.
順を追って説明してくれ。
Why don't you explain things in order?
まず綿流しってなんだ？
First of all, what is this Watanagashi?
次に巫女さんってなんだ？
Next, what do you mean by shrine maiden?
最後に奉納演舞ってなんだ？
Last, what do you mean by ritual dance?
あれ？
Huh?
ケイちゃん家には回覧板とか行ってない？
Didn't you get the notice at your house,
書
Kei-chan?
いてなかった？
Wasn't it written there?
今度の日曜に綿流しのお祭りがあるって。
The Watanagashi festival is this Sunday. What day is it today? You know the real life Watanagashi was yesterday? Really? Oh, that's wonderful. Who died? Huh? Come to think of it, I have a feeling Mom did say something about it during dinner the other day.
綿流しはね、毎年6月の日曜日に神社でやるお祭りなの。
The Watanagashi is a festival that happens at the shrine on a Sunday every June.
とっても賑わうんだよ。
It's very lively.
なるほどな。
I see.
しかし綿流しってのは変わった名称だな。
The Watanagashi sounds like a pretty strange name for it.
あれか？
Is it something like
放浪流しみたいに何かを供養して川に流すのか？
the Lantern Festival, where they have a memorial for the dead by floating things down the river?
さすがはケイちゃん。察しがいいね。
Oh, I figured you might guess right, Kei-chan.
綿流しはね、名前の通り綿を流すんだよ。
The Watanagashi, or Cotton Drift Festival, is, as the name implies, where we set cotton drift down the river.
綿ってのはね、お布団やはんてんなんかの綿のことなの。
The cotton you see is from futons or jackets.
だからお布団の供養になるのかな。
No one ever dies? No one's ever really gone. So it'd be something like a futon memorial?
階段にもお布団を積み上げているし。
They also pile futons up on the altar.
ご先祖様とか戦没者とか針とか包丁とかの供養ってのは聞いたことあるけど、
I've heard of people leaving offerings or things like needles or kitchen knives to their ancestors or to casualties of war.
布団の供養ってのは初耳だな。
But an offering of futons is a first for me.
どんな言われがあるんだ？
What's the history behind that? Mion tilted her head pensively.
言われなんてほど難しいのはないと思うな。
I don't think there's a complicated backstory to
こ
it.
の辺って冬の寒さはかなり厳しいからね。布団とか斑点とかの防寒具を特に大切にしたからじゃないかな。
The winters around here are pretty harsh, so things like warm futons and coats to ward off the cold are fairly important, I guess.
ああ、なるほどな。
Ah, I see.
つまり冬の間お世話になった布団に感謝しようってわけだ。
In other words, it's something like giving thanks to the futons that took care of you during the winter then.
で、巫女さんが供養をして最後に川に流すわけか。
Then the Shrine Maiden holds a memorial service for them and set them adrift.
それが綿流しってわけだろ。
That's what the Watanagashi is? Mion and Rena indicated that I had the correct answer with a round of applause. How awesome is it that a festival celebrating fucking futons and coats is the one where people get fucking killed?
でねでね、
And you see,
その供養をする巫女さんの役がリカちゃんなの。
a Shrine Maiden performing the memorial is Rika-chan.
へえ、
Oh?
リカちゃんが巫女なんだ。
So Rika-chan's a Shrine Maiden. Yes, they've told you this.
言われてみればリカちゃんってどことなく神秘的な雰囲気あるよな。
Now that you mention it, Rika-chan does have a mystic layer about her.
だよねだよね。
Right, right.
リカちゃんの巫女さん姿ってね、はう
Rika-chan in a shrine maiden outfit.
かわいいんだよ。
So cute. Certainly does seem like it would suit her. Yeah, it might be cute.
ようやく話が見えてきたぞ。
I finally get what you're saying.
リカちゃんの言う特訓ってのはこの巫女さん役の練習なわけだな。
Rika-chan's training is for her performance as a shrine maiden then.
そういうこと。
That would be it.
巫女さんが布団をお祓いする一連のセレモニーを奉納演舞って呼ぶんだけどね。
The shrine maiden has to purify a number of futons as part of the ceremony.
それの練習なんだよ。
It's practice for that.
結構大変なんだな、これが。
It's a lot of hard work.
巫女さんはね、祭事用の大きなクワを持って演舞をするんだけど、それがね、リカちゃんにはすっごく重いらしいの。
The shrine maiden has to carry a large ceremonial hoe as part of the rite, and it's really heavy for Rika-chan.
リカちゃんってちっちゃいもんな。
Well, Rika-chan is pretty small.
その重いクワってどのくらい重いんだ？
Exactly how heavy is that hoe?
かなり重いらしいよ。
It's pretty heavy.
リカちゃんは餅つき用のキネで練習してるくらいだから。
Enough that Rika-chan's been practicing with a mochi mallet. Wait a minute. That's way too heavy. Forget about Rika-chan, that'd be rough even for me.
祭事用の神聖なクワだからね。
It's a sacred ceremonial hoe.
間違って落としちゃったら大変らしいし。
If she dropped it by accident, it'd be big trouble.
まあ、年に一度のお勤めだからね。
Well, it's a once a year kind of deal.
私たちは陰ながら応援するしかないね。
All we can do is cheer from the sidelines.
大丈夫。
It'll be okay.
去年もちゃんとやり遂げたんだから。
She pulled it off last year.
そっか。
Really?
じゃあさ、せめて応援してやろうぜ。
The least I can do is cheer her on.
それくらいならいいだろう。
Even something that little would help, right? I was rather curious about exactly how she practiced. Mion laughed as she shook her head.
ほっといてあげなよ。
Leave her
ケイ
alone.
ちゃんが来たら、リカちゃんは可愛くなっちゃうから、特訓ができなくなるよ。
If you go, Rika-chan will get all cute and won't be able to practice. Hmm? I didn't quite understand what Mion was saying.
リカちゃんはね、努力とかそういうのを人に見せるのが好きじゃないの。
You see, Rika-chan doesn't like showing people how hard she works. Okay,
そっとしておいてあげて。
so just leave her be. Even though always cool and aloof, Rika-chan has times when she sweats while giving it her all. Because she was always so well put together, she didn't want people to see an ungainly side of her. It's not like I couldn't understand that feeling.
俺にできるのは成功を祈ることだけってことか。
All I can do is pray for her success, huh?
頑張れ
Do your best,
フルでリカ
Rika Furude.
応援してるから
I'm cheering for you. Well then. I climbed up onto the pipe and plopped down on my side. Nap
フレ
time.
フレリカちゃんさらに応援の電波を高めるためこれより瞑想状態に入る
In order to transmit more of my psychic waves of encouragement, I'll be entering a meditative state now. Good night, Keiichi. So you're just gonna sleep after all? Don't hit me. I'm trying to sleep. The lackadaisical noontime ended up giving way to mind-numbing afternoon classes. Rebounding from yesterday's hunger, I ate too much for lunch today, leaving me in a horrible condition.
さすがに食いすぎた
Keiichi is reaching a higher plane. He's gonna ascend and see the events of the previous timeline and freak out. Oh, I might have gorged myself a bit too much.
午後の授業は答える
I'll have to endure afternoon classes.
ケイチくん、今日はなんだかすごい食欲だったもんね。
Keiichi-kun, you had an amazing appetite today.
基本的にいつも大食いだけどさ、
Basically, you always eat like a pig.
今日はなんか格別だったね。
But today was on a whole different level.
昨日は俺昼飯抜きだったろ
Yesterday I skipped lunch, right?
そのひもじさが染みついちゃってさ
That hunger just soaked right in.
今度は逆にいくら食っても食欲が底なしっていうか
This time, no matter how much I ate, my hunger knew no bounds.
わかるよわかるよ。
I get you, I get you.
しかしケイちゃんってさ、 いつもお弁当きれいに食べるよね。
But really, Kei-chan, you always finish your lunch down to the last bite. Well, excuse me for not being wasteful.
ご飯一粒も残さないっていうか。
Heck, even down to the last grain of rice. Well, excuse me.
食べ物ってのは作ってくれた人に感謝して食べるもんだぜ。
With food, you show your appreciation for the person who made it by eating it, you know.
残したら
That's
苦労して
what
作ってくれた
I'm saying.
人に失礼だろ。
If you leave any behind, it's rude to the person who put in all that effort. Hearing that, Mion's eyes momentarily widened in surprise, followed by a cool laugh.
ケイちゃんってさ、
Kei-chan,
ぱ
really.
っと見ワイルドでいい加減そうなんだけど、結構律儀だよね。
At first glance, you seem unruly and irresponsible, but you're actually pretty conscientious.
しつきがいいというか。
Well disciplined or something like that.
あ、
A boy
そ
gotta
れは
eat.
レナも思うな。思うな。
Ah, yeah, Rena thinks so too. Thinks so too.
ケイチ君って見かけよりずっと優しい人だよ。
Keiichi-kun is a lot kinder than he looks. Both of them were probably trying to compliment me, but I had a strange feeling I wasn't being complimented at all.
そんなことないって。
That's not
見
true.
かけと中身は大違いってそう言いたいんだよ。
I just wanted to say that there's a big gap between your appearance and your personality.
それが褒めてねって言ってんだよ。
And I'm saying that's not a compliment.
こら、
Ah! Curry freak's here. Hey,
園崎さん、前原くん、授業中ですよ。
Sonizaki-san, Mabaru-kun, we're in the middle of class.
園崎さんはどこまで進みましたか？ノートを持ってきてください。
How far did you get, Sonizaki-san? Bring your notes up here. Startled, Mion vocalized a rather easy-to-understand utterance. She was so enthralled in the conversation, she had stopped working completely.
ま
Uh,
そこそこに。
doing alright.
さっきから全然進んでないじゃないですか。
You haven't progressed at all.
最上級生なんだから、もっとしっかりしないといけませんよ。
You're in the highest grades, you have to shape up. That Mion, it looks like she's getting lectured. Poor bastard.
人は見かけによらないっていうことだね。
Appearances can be deceiving, in other words.
むしろ見かけとは逆がまことかもしれないよ。
Actually, appearance might be the opposite of reality.
面白いこと言うじゃねえか。
Hmm? Say some interesting things. Responding to Rena's seemingly profound statement, I turned my gaze where Satoko was happily studying together with Rika-chan.
あの生意気盛りの聡子も実は見かけとは逆にすげえ塩らしいってのかよ。
Are you saying that brat Satoko is actually really meek? If I went by what Rena literally said, then that would be the case. I could hardly imagine Satoko being meek and gentle like a girl in some fairy tale.
最近はあんな感じだけど、ちょっと前までは違ったんだよ。
Satoko-chan's been rude lately, but just a while ago she was pretty different.
すごい甘えん坊で、いつも。
She acted really spoiled and always... Yep.
さとこちゃんには内緒ね。
Keep this a secret from Satoko-chan, okay?
あの聡子が甘えん坊？
That Satoko, acting so cute? For Satoko to play coy, I think that would have to be some part of some calculated plot. Even if she was to hide behind someone, I wouldn't think it was because she was attached to them. But since it came up, I tried to imagine a gentle and coquettish Satoko.
おい、聡子。
Hey, Satoko.
なんですの、お兄様。
What is it, Oni-sama? Satoko smiled cutely and walked toward me. By the way, for every 3 steps forward Satoko took, for some reason I took 3 steps away. Hmm?
お兄様、なんで逃げますの？
Oni-sama, why are you running away?
すまん、聡子。
Sorry,
お
Satoko.
前が愛想笑いして近づいてくると何かの罠のような気がするんだよ。
For you to approach me with an affectionate smile on your face, I just have to think it's some sort of trap.
ひどいですわ。
That's so mean.
お兄様の意地悪。
Oni-sama, you meanie. See, that's just not her.
あ
This is false.
ごめん、別に悪気があったわけじゃないんだ。
Oh, sorry, I didn't intend to be so mean. The weeping Satoko came closer to me. I'm a sucker for tears. Click. Oh no, she fucking put handcuffs on me. Huh? Bear trap? Oh, that's worse. My leg was being clamped down on by jagged metal teeth. Yeah, that's the Satoko I know.
かかりましたわね。
You fell for it.
続けていきますわよ。
Now for the next part. Satoko raised her right arm triumphantly, and traps began to trigger one after another. Oh, he died. Suddenly, the wall sprang forward, throwing me 3 blocks away. And there I saw a giant metal bat covered in spikes hurtling towards me. On top of that, in the direction the ball would knock me was a giant guillotine.
よくわかんないけど、ケイチ君、今すっごく突拍子もない想像してなかった？
I'm not really sure, but Keiichi-kun, you're not thinking of anything completely ludicrous right now, are you?
いや別に
Not really.
全然してないぞ。
Not at all.
嘘だ。
That's a lie.
トゲ付き鉄球に潰されるって顔してたよ。
You've got the kind of look on your face that says, I'm gonna be crushed by a giant spiked metal bat. How am I that easy to read? How could my expression convey what I was thinking like that?
すまん。
Sorry.
塩らしい聡子の想像ってのはかなり無理がある。
Imagining a meek and gentle Satoko is impossible right now.
今度体調がいい時に再トライしてみるよ。
I'll try again when I'm in better shape. Ah, Rika jump scare. Next, I looked over Rika-chan, who was working diligently on some kanji drills. In contrast to Satoko, her default state was meek and gentle. If Rika-chan came at me saying Oni-sama, I'd hug her. Tightly. I get used to that.
ケイチ君よだれ。
Keiichi-kun, you're drooling.
あ、ごめんごめん。
Sorry.
じゃあリカちゃんはどうだよ。
Then about
あれ
Rika-chan.
も見かけによらないってのかよ。
You're saying that her appearance is deceiving as well? Saying that out loud, I felt a tinge of doubt. Was Rika-chan really all sweet? Despite her appearance, she really was quite sly. Sweetly, how do you put it? If anything's deftly?
確かにリカちゃんはただ可愛いだけじゃない気がするな。
I get the feeling that Rika-chan isn't only just sweet.
確かに見かけによらないぞ。
Her appearance is definitely deceiving. I couldn't put exactly what I was imagining into words, but Rena managed to say what I wanted to. She turned to me with an impish look in her eyes, like she was saying, you shouldn't say something like that.
リカちゃんはきっと大きくなったらね、すっごい美人になって男の人を振り回す小悪魔のような女性になるんじゃないかなって思うんだ。
When Rika-chan grows up, I'm sure she'll become an incredibly devilish beauty with men wrapped all around her little finger.
そういうのかっこよくない？
Don't you think that'd be cool? Renan said that lightheartedly, but I, as a man, couldn't laugh at that. The scary part about that was that it felt like it could be true. Noticing my gaze, Rika-chan turned towards me and let loose with an angelic smile. Both Renan and I, feeling as if that was directed towards us personally, had our hearts skip a beat.
かわいいね、かわいいね。
So cute, so cute.
レナ、鼻血鼻血。
Rena, your nose is bleeding. Appearances can be deceiving, huh? Well then, what about our dear leader Mion? I stared at her as she tried to weasel her way out of her scolding by the teacher. By Rena's theory, that unrefined, calculating, conniving Mion also had a side of her that belied appearances. Rika scares me sometimes. That is true. I am afraid of her sometimes.
じゃあなんだよ。あのミオンも見かけによらず、実はいいやつだって言いたいのかよ。
Then what you're saying is that Mion, despite her appearance, is actually a good person?
みーちゃんはいい人だよ。
Mi-chan is a good person.
あ、まあそりゃそうだけどさ。
Oh, well, that is true.
そういう意味じゃなくて、その。
But what I'm trying to say is...
ケイチ君の言いたい意味。わかるよ。
Yup, I know what you're trying to say, Keiichi-kun. Catching on that I was struggling to express my feelings as words, Rena smiled even more brightly.
わかるって何がだよ。
No, what?
みーちゃんって不思議でしょ？
Mi-chan is mysterious, right?
女の子なんだけど、男の子みたいっていうか。
She's a girl, but it's like she's a guy. That's right. Anne was more than aware that she was a girl, but it was exactly as Rena said. When Mian livened up the mood, it wasn't as though she felt like a guy or girl specifically, but a friend of the same gender.
あいつが男だったらきっと意気投合するだろうな。
If she were a guy, we'd probably be like two peas in a pod. You know, if she was a guy, you'd be gay.
そりゃ今と同じか。
Although, that's the same way it is right now.
でもね、
But you see,
そんなみーちゃんも本当はすっごく女の子らしいんだよ。
even that Michan is actually really feminine.
レナ、
Rena,
お前ミオンにいくらもらったんだよ。
how much did Mian pay you exactly?
違うの。
That's not true.
もうちゃんとした話をしてるんだよ。だよ。
Jeez, I'm trying to have a serious conversation, you know. Rena began to pout. Now probably wasn't the right time to joke around.
みーちゃんは部活の部長さんだからみんなのリーダーとして頑張ってるけど、
Michan's the club president, so she's trying hard to lead everybody.
本当はとっても可愛い女の子なんだよ。
She's really a very cute girl.
それ特に圭一くんには忘れてほしくないな。
I really don't want you to forget that, Keiichi-kun. Rena's gaze focused off into the distance beyond where Mion was. The Mion that I met at Angel Mart was unimaginably different compared to the Mion that I normally knew. Flustered and hesitant from the unfamiliar job. It was a far cry from the brash and confident Mion. Even though she had to hurry to work, she went through all the trouble to bring me food when I was on the brink of starvation. She did so not as Mion, but as Shion. Rena gay? Maybe. What exactly was Shion to Mion? What kind of person was Mion exactly?
多分圭一くんには想像つかないと思うな。思うな。
Keiichi-kun probably couldn't even begin to imagine. As if to say it was our little secret, Rena held her finger up to her lips as she giggled. Mion, finally free from the teacher's preaching, returned to her seat, cradling her head to hide her embarrassment.
おじさんはね、人生に必要な勉強は小学校までで十分だと思ってんだよ。
This old man, you see, thinks that grade school is enough for everything you need to study for in life. Saying that, she plopped down into her seat violently. Mion was actually really feminine, right? I wonder if I can meet Shion again. Actually, I take that back. I think she's just into Colonel Sanders. No, she likes him. I wanted to talk to her again. Oh boy. The principal waved around the bell that served as the school chime. The teacher rushed back to the blackboard and began to list everybody's homework assignments.
ああ、
Whoa.
今日は宿題が結構出そうだね。頑張らないと。
Looks like there's gonna be a lot of homework today. Gotta buckle down.
じゃあさ、
Well
レ
then,
ナもってことか？
that means even Rena?
何がかな。
Huh? What do you mean?
人は見かけによらないって話。
Appearances can be deceiving.
レナもってことになるのか？
Would that apply to you too?
圭
Huh?
一くんにはレナのことどう見えるかな。かな。
Keiichi-kun, how do you see me? How? Rena Ryuga that I knew sometimes took things too far, but was generally a kind of gentle, ideal girl.
本当に本当に
Really?
だったら嬉しいかな。
Then, that makes me happy, I guess. She was the opposite of what she seemed. That would make her...
逆なのだとしたら？
And if you're really the opposite?
うーん
Just try saying it, I won't be mad. That's what it felt like she meant.
レナは
Rena is...
レナは
Uh-huh, Rena is...
逆になってもレナだよ。だろ？
Even if you were the opposite, you'd still be Rena, right? This question shouldn't have been so nerve-wracking to answer. Maybe it was because the person in question was staring at me, but... Even saying that took a strange amount of effort.
ずるいな圭一くん。
That's no fair,
そん
Keiichi-kun.
な言い方されちゃったら気になっちゃうよ。はお。
Bothers me when you say it that way. Perhaps unable to endure my silence, Rena's face began to burn red with embarrassment. I wonder what the point of this conversation is. I don't know. Rena! Kei-chan! Let's go home. Mion walked over and started getting ready to go home. Whenever school is over, she really does get noticeably more energetic. It was the same relaxing walk home as always. Finger on my pocket on a whim, I noticed something that should have been there was missing.
どうしたのケイちゃん。
What's the matter, Kei-chan?
いつも持ってるはずのうちの鍵がないんだよ。
The key to my house I always carry around is gone.
参ったな。どこにやっちゃったかな。
Man, where did I lose it?
親はいるから今日はいいけど、まずいよな。
It's fine today since my parents are home, but still, this is bad.
それは困るね。
It sure is troublesome.
忘れてきたの？
Did you forget it somewhere?
それとも落としちゃったのかな？
Where did you drop it? When was it? Did I take it with me this morning in the first place? Huh?
ケイちゃん、その鍵の特徴は？
Kitchen, did that key have anything that would make it stand out?
うん。キーホルダーがついてる。
Yeah, it's on a keychain.
昔夏休みの宿題で作らされたやつで、青いオットセイなんだよ。
It was a blue fur seal, something I made for summer homework a long time ago.
あれ？目をつぶった感じでお昼寝してるみたいなやつ？
Huh? Does it have its eyes shut like it's taking a nap?
なんで知ってるんだよ。
Oh, how did you know?
そうそう、それだよ。
Yeah, that's it. Mion looked away and began to whistle. You devil!
とさ、
See,
おとといケイちゃん、エンジェルモートに食事に行ったでしょ。
you went for dinner at Angel Mort a couple days ago, right?
その晩さ、お店で鍵の落とし物があったんだよ。
That night, the staff found a key,
それにオットセイのキーホルダーがついてた。
and there's a fur seal keychain attached to it. As she said that, she suddenly grew flustered and added that Shion had told her about it.
あ
Huh?
の時に落としちゃったのか。
So I dropped it then.
でも見つかってよかったね。
Aren't you glad they found it?
お店がきっと預かってくれてるよ。
I'm sure they're looking after it for you.
そうだね。
That's right.
行ってみなよ。
Why don't you go?
シオンの顔、私と同じだからわかるでしょ。
Shion looks the same as me, so you'll know her by sight. Oh, you are conniving. You did this just to get me to go back there. This was a rather unexpected development. Once again, I had no choice but to go and meet with Shion. But I also had to thank her for the bento from yesterday. Besides, taking some time and chatting with this other side of me might be interesting. Half-jokingly, I began to think about things like this.
そうだな。
Right.
エンジェルモートだっけ？シオンの店に行って鍵を返してもらって、
Angel Mort, was it? I'll head over to Shion's restaurant and get my key back.
ついでにお茶でも飲んで優雅に過ごすってのも悪くないな。
While I'm at it, having a nice spot of tea might not be a bad idea.
なんだか英国紳士みたいだね。
You sound like an English gentleman.
ケイちゃんには似合わないかも。
That totally doesn't suit you, Kei-chan.
ひょっとしてそのお店かな？
Is this the
み
restaurant?
ーちゃんの妹の働いてるお店は。
The one that Michan's little sister is working at?
ああ、なんならレナも一緒に行くか。
Yeah, why don't we go together, Rena?
ちょっと残念だけど、今日はお父さんと約束があるから、
Sorry to disappoint you, but I have plans with my father today.
またの機会にするね。
Some other time. Rena seemed pretty disappointed about having to miss such a great opportunity.
双子だそうだけど、そんなにそっくりなのかな？
You said they're twins, but do they really look that much alike?
間違えるくらい？
Enough to mistake which is which?
ああ、そっくりだ。
Yeah, they're totally the same.
外見だけはそっくりだ。
At least on the outside.
中身はミオンと違って、おしとやかで実に可愛らしいのにな。
Unlike Mion, she's well-mannered and really cute, though. In response to my teasing, Mion pouted and began to argue with me. I couldn't help but burst out laughing at Mion's little farce. After all, they weren't just identical, they were the same person. What a beautiful day. After going home, I changed my clothes and dug my bike out of the garage. Just thinking that I'd be able to meet Shion again gave me a mysterious feeling. Yo, this dude isn't gay. I'm so shocked. Shion, a name for a different kind of Mion. She's a mysterious and ridiculous person, believing she had fooled everyone like that. I noticed that I was petting along quite happily. Could it be that I was looking forward to meeting Shion? I felt a sense of giddy anticipation, like I was headed towards a new friend's house for the first time. What Rena said about Mion actually being really feminine sprang to mind once again. The guilt from spying on another side of Mion, self-consciousness from being the only one that knew about that side, these feelings mixed together. Can love really bloom in Hinamizawa? No. That was Shion for you. Mion's little twin sister. Until she felt like coming out and admitting she was Mion, it was fine to just call her Shion, right? Mion might be trying to have some fun by acting out a different persona. Simon, hello. As I reached the top of the steep hill, the horizon expanded before me. I was almost at the station. The last time I wasn't embarrassed since I was here with Dad, but this time I was alone. Strangely self-conscious about it. Me, Shion, get my key back. That was all this task was supposed to be. If I dawdled around like this, maybe Shion would find me before she headed in for work. Hey, what are you doing, Keiichimabara? You're just here to get your key back, you know? It's not like you're some love-struck schoolboy here to hand over a love letter. The thoughts inside my head were slowly turning into a jumbled mess. I came to the realization that I was downright giddy. That's why, for just a bit, just a tiny little bit, I got a little carried away and did something really stupid. I kicked over a parked motorcycle that was blocking the sidewalk. It was in the way, sure, but there's absolutely no need for me to kick it. I definitely think I got too carried away. Uh-oh. As the three bikes toppled one after the other like dominoes, the loud noise they caused snapped me back to my senses. Oh, shit. The hell you think you're doing? The owners of those three bikes are right there. It looked exactly like what you'd call thugs up to no good. Perception check failure. Uh-oh. They lifted their heads up in an imposing manner and yelled angrily in a way I'd never heard before. Three of them beelined towards me, the worn-down heels of their thin-soled shoes slapping noisily against the pavement. I could only stare listlessly as if I were watching some far-off event that didn't concern me at all. By the time I realized it, I'd been grabbed by the collar and lifted onto my tiptoes. Don't be playing dumb. You knocked him over, didn't you? Huh? The three thugs were completely ignoring the rules of grammar, but the way they spoke was enough to make me tremble. Just like that, my composure drained away. My legs buckled and my throat drew dry enough to crack. I'm sorry, I accidentally... Accident in my ass. You kicked it, didn't you, dumbass? I was completely at fault, so there was nothing I could say in my defense. As a result, I was pulled even higher. The hell, man? The paint's all scuffed. Yo, brat. Who put you up to this, eh? This is your goddamn fault. Three of them continued to yell at me. I had no idea what each of them were saying. Getting further enraged that I was only listening while dumbstruck, they grabbed an empty plastic crate from a nearby store and began to smash it repeatedly against a telephone pole. Cracks formed in the crate, plastic shards flying everywhere. Then they slammed at full force into the shuttered storefront. The shutter let out a frighteningly loud noise. Still not satisfied, they flipped over a case of empty cans, scattering its contents all over the place. This was not normal. It was something you saw often on television or in manga, but I never thought seeing it in person would be this terrifying. I became painfully aware that the safety of civilized society was only held up by such a frail concept as morals. My knees clattered together noisily. Static began to pepper my vision. This is what you would call absolute terror. There was nothing I could do to stop this frightening spectacle of violence. I could only pray for help. The fear I felt was just too much. Somebody help me? My gaze floundered about the surrounding area. I was surrounded by these 3 hoodlums. No way there'd be a passerby brave enough to intervene. Oh, he's gonna die. Maybe this was what you call reaping what you sow. If I were a passerby, there'd be no doubt that I'd ignore what was going on. So this was somewhat of a cosmic retribution. Fucking say something! I'll fucking stab you! Angry yelling loud enough to rattle my eardrums spewed forth right in front of my face. My waning consciousness was forcefully dragged back to the forefront. The thug had cocked back his free hand and twisted his body when suddenly a metallic taste filtered through the back of my throat. A chill ran down my spine like a jolt of electricity. Seeing what was going to happen next, I squeezed my eyes shut as tightly as possible and grit my teeth. Oh, you're making quite the racket, you stupid pieces of trash. Get out of my sight. That voice was a short distance away. Still holding me by the collar, the 3 thugs spun around to look behind them. His pronouns are they, them. I've seen this before. The fuck you say? Standing there was Shion. Mion. She stood there displaying an imposing stature that I'd never seen before. She didn't have the same look on her face as she did when we were playing around during club. This is the first time we've seen his face. He is not a chaser. Those were the eyes that would instill fear in anyone who looked upon them. The eyes of a raptor. I'm gonna need this CG. They were the epitome of terror. At the same time, they're the most reassuring things in the world. I'll only say this one more time. Let go of Kei-chan and get lost. Mion, without an ounce of fear, laid down her ultimatum. Of course, there was no way those 3 wouldn't go absolutely berserk. The situation instantly turned explosively dangerous. You fucking bitch! I'll fucking bash your head in! Stop it, Mion. These guys are like rabid dogs. No amount of bluffing will work. Mion, it's dangerous, so I knew what I was saying was pathetic. Wait, we watched chapter 1, there's an image of them on the phone. Was there? I must have missed it. Or I don't remember. I knew what I was saying was pathetic, but I couldn't let Mion get involved in this. No matter how you looked at it, Mion was only bluffing. But did Mion even know the meaning of the word bluff? However, the reason behind everything soon became apparent. They were slowly increasing in number, little by little. No. At first, it was only businessmen on their way home stopping to take a look. Then it was housewives in the middle of shopping taking a gander. I don't think I noticed that image of Keiichi in chapter 1 then. Is Rena behind the door? Oh, yeah. I mean, we did see him there. Is that our first time seeing his face, though? Because I thought we saw his back. Or am I misremembering? Next, it seemed like the owner of some store showed up. It was pretty clear he wasn't just looking. Around Mion, there was already about 7 people gathered. Felt different than people coming out to support a friend. If I had to say why, it was because the group that gathered was diverse in age and gender. The three thugs seemed to slowly realize that there was something strange about the situation. Who the hell are these guys? Behind them, at some point, 4 more people of different clothes and age had gathered. A girl who looked to be in middle school. A man wearing a bakery apron. An old lady in a house cleaning smock. More and more, people of various ages. Their gazes, compared with Mion's, were of hostility, of intimidation. Before I realized it, over 10 people had formed a ring around us. At that moment, 5 elementary schoolers ran in and joined the circle. There were some familiar faces. Some of our classmates. And these people were residents of Hinamizawa? More and more people from Hinamizawa gathered around. In obvious contrast, the residents of Okinomiya were passing by as quickly as possible. Fuck are you guys? Go the fuck away! Group surrounding us had suddenly swelled to around 20 people. Completely encircled, the faces of the thugs began to show the first signs of panic. Oh no, wait, we did see his face. That CG of Keiichi, we did see his face there, didn't we? I totally forgot. Or did we? God, I need to look at that CG again. I don't remember. Nobody spoke a word, Mion included. That made everything completely unnatural, and depending on which side you were on, completely terrifying. Only the thugs' voices echoed out like they were screaming. Somebody took a step forward, closing the gap between them. As they did, everybody else took a step forward, shrinking the circle. Yo, they're gonna kill these guys! The hoodlums went pale as they were pushed together, back to back, while still yelling angrily. They were trying to string together vulgarities, but for some reason it sounded like they were crying out for help. Alright. What's going on here? What's going on? It was sudden. A solidly built officer cut his way through the crowd. At some point, 2 police cars had arrived. Some passerby had undoubtedly called for them. Several burly officers appeared from inside the second vehicle. Oh, officer, good timing. There you go, the extortionist caught red-handed. Please arrest them. The fuck? Just brass to one that's wrong here. Mion, returning to her usual self, was nonchalantly pointing out the hoodlums to the police. Of course, the thugs were furious. But now that it had come to this, there was nothing they could do. It was their loss. Okay. Come over here for a sec. Come on already. The officers handcuffed the thugs and dragged them towards the police cars. The fuck, let me go. We're the victims here, are you listening, damn it? No matter how much of a ruckus they caused, the officers paid no heed. In the blink of an eye, they were crammed inside the 2 vehicles. They could still be heard yelling while inside the police cars, but what they were saying was no longer intelligible. I know you! I've seen you before! Are you alright? Are you injured? He's probably a detective. The man leading the police peered at my face. No, not really. Well, that's a bit of a silver lining then. Well then, have a good year. The portly man, after taking a quick look around, addressed the crowd. Thank you, citizens, for your timely report. Thanks to your efforts, we were able to keep the peace today. It's a wonderful thing. So true. Thank you for your hard work, Detective Uishi. As a citizen, I thank you for your daily efforts.
一家の刑事がわざわざこんなところまでおいでくださるとは。
It's an honor
光栄
for...
の極みです。
I talked over her, I'm sorry. It's an honor for a detective from the 1st Division to come out all this way. The way Shion talked didn't have a very pleasant tone.
偶然ですよ。
It was a coincidence.
県警の帰り道に無線連絡が入りましてね。
I happened to hear the call over the radio on my way back from the prefectural office.
寄り道したわけです。
I just made a little detour.
お仕事頑張ってください。
Please keep up the good work.
今後のご活躍を切に祈っております。
I pray for success in your future endeavors.
いえいえ。
Aw, shucks.
でも、怪我人が出なくて本当に良かったです。
It's a good thing there were no injuries, though.
おいさん
Oishi-san,
オーケーっす
we're done here.
行きましょう
Let's go.
ではでは、良いお年を。
Well then, have a good year.
失礼。道を開けてもらえますかな。
I'm sorry, could you make way? The detective named Ueshi, after jovially making pleasantries, lumbered over to the waiting police car. It quickly set off, disappearing down the city street. It was over so quickly. So quickly I was dumbstruck. I didn't even get to ask the officer what was going on. It was like they came here quickly to disperse the mob before any trouble could start. After making sure the police cars had left, Mion snapped her fingers sharply.
おっしゃ一丁上がりだね。
Alright, that's a wrap.
おととい来やがれっての。
And don't come back. That was the signal. The tension melted away in an instant as everybody began smiling. A middle-aged man helped me up.
大丈夫かい前原の坊や。
Are you okay, young Maibara? How do you know my name?
今度からは喧嘩は相手を選んでやりな。
Next time, pick your fights a bit better.
別に喧嘩ってわけじゃ。
It's not like I wanted to fight.
怪我とかしてない？
Are you hurt anywhere?
頭とかぶつけてるならレントゲンを取っておいた方がいいわよ。
If you hit your head, it'd be a good idea to get an x-ray taken. An older lady I didn't know the name of was concerned about my injury.
たまたま駅前で人通りの多い時間だったからこれだけ集まれたけど。
You were lucky this happened right in front of the station when it was busy, otherwise we wouldn't be able to gather as many people.
次からは気をつけるんだよ。
Everybody knows your name? Yeah, it's creepy! I don't like it! Next time, be more careful.
最近の町もんは物騒なんだから。
City kids these days are pretty unruly.
まったく。
Honestly. I was even warned by the old lady in the smock. As Shion finished applauding the dispersing group for their efforts, she strode over to me.
いやいや、ケイちゃんもやるじゃない。
Oh well, you're pretty good,
で
Kei-chan.
も私も相手を選んだ方がいいと思いますけどね。
But I also think you should be more careful about who you pick a fight with.
サンキューな、ミオ。
Thanks, Mion.
助かったよ。
You saved my bacon there.
だから私、シオン。
Like I said, I'm Shion. She made a troubled expression as she turned her gaze downward, blushing in embarrassment.
お姉に聞いてますよ。
I heard from my
オ
sister.
ットセイの鍵。あれ、ケイちゃんのですって？
That first ill keychain was yours, Kei-chan?
あ、そうだった。
Oh, yeah, that's right.
これからお店に行こうとしてたんだった。
I was just heading to the restaurant.
それで浮かれてて、あんな変なのに絡まれちゃってたんですか？
And you ended up feeling so excited that you got mixed up in something weird? Now it was my turn for my face to go red. I didn't want to admit that she was spot on.
まあ、ついてなかったよ。
Well, that was just unlucky.
でも、シオンのおかげで助かった。
You really saved me, Shion.
お礼はいらないですよ。
You don't have to thank me.
だから、ケイちゃんも他の人がいじめられてるのを見つけたら、きっと助けてあげてください。
So if you see somebody else getting bullied, help them out, okay?
私たち、そういうのをとても大切にするから。
We value that kind of thing very highly here. I was well versed in that sense of camaraderie. But the way I was rescued just now, something seemed a little off about that. While I was helped out, it was honestly to an almost disturbing degree.
お店来ますよね。
You're coming into the restaurant, right?
疲れち ちゃっただろうから一服しません？
You must be tired, so why don't you relax for a bit?
おごりますよ。
My treat. Seems as she caught the glimmer of suspicion in my eyes. Without waiting for my answer, Shion began walking. Wow, to the restaurant we go! After cooling off a bit inside the restaurant, little by little I realized I was still on edge. There were spots here and there on my body that hurt, probably because I had been so stiff with nervousness. Shion, who had changed into her uniform, brought over 2 glasses of iced coffee.
はい、これ。おごりのアイスコーヒー。
There you go, iced coffee on the house.
レジでこのチケット渡せば無料になりますからね。
Just bring this coupon with you to the register and it'll be no charge. My patheticness really knew no bounds. But since she went through the trouble, I might as well take her up on the offer. Even though it started out as such a lovely day, I had to get carried away and do that stupid thing. I completely ruined it.
でも本当にさ、
Well,
私だって怖かったですよ。
even I was
で
scared.
も、他ならぬケイちゃんのピンチだし、
But Kitchen was in trouble, so
勇気出して頑張りましたってことです。
I had to be brave and do my best. While a little embarrassed by what she just said, Shion made a show of folding her arms boldly.
シオン、本当にありがとうな。
Shion, really, thank you. I was thanking Shion. But I really wanted to thank Mion. Mion, really, thank you.
ほらほら、もう元気出してくださいよ。
Now, cheer up a little.
もしも恩義を感じるなら、今度はケイちゃんが他の誰かのために戦ってくださいね。
If you feel indebted, then you have the chance to... You should know... When you have the chance, you should help somebody in need.
例えば、私がピンチになったら、
Like, for example, if I'm ever in trouble.
きっと助けに来てくださいよ。
Please come and save me.
ああ、もちろんだ。
Yeah, of course.
約束する。
It's a promise.
絶対ですからね。
You absolutely have to. Remember when I bashed your head in with a bat? No? Okay. Taking advantage of my word, she seemed happy about my promise.
ピンチになったら、ケイちゃんが助けに来てくれるのか。
So if I'm ever in trouble, Kitchen will come and save me.
早くピンチにならないかな。あ、やっと笑ってくれた。
I hope trouble comes soon. Ah, you finally smiled. She says she smiled herself, poking me in the cheek.
元気のないケイちゃんなんて、偽物もいいとこです。
Downtrodden Keichan is as good as an imposter.
ほら、笑ったわ。
That never happened? Oh, my bad. Come on, smile, smile.
くすぐったいってば。
That tickles.
やべ。
Stop. This boy's a fool, even the restaurant. Thanks to Shion's meddling, I finally cheered up a little. All the muscles in my body that had stiffened because of the incident finally began to relax a little.
元気出たら、お腹とか空いてこないです。
When you're in a better mood, don't you get a little hungry?
私、お腹空いちゃいましたから、ホットケーキとか食べたいんですけど。
I'm kinda hungry, so I want to eat some pancakes or
ケイ
something.
ちゃんも食べます？
You want some too, Keichan? I wanted to show a little restraint, but restraint really wasn't my thing. That's why I replied without any.
うまいんだろうな。
They're good, right?
俺、ホットケーキはかなりうるさいぜ。
I'm pretty picky when it comes to pancakes.
安心してください。
Don't worry,
うちのホットケーキはかなり評判いいですから。
our pancakes have a pretty good reputation. Shion ordered some pancakes from a nearby waitress. An employee ordering from another employee seems kind of weird.
おいおい、そういえばシオン、今バイト中じゃないのか？俺とずっと話をして油売ってていいのかよ。
Hey, speaking of that, weren't you in the middle of a shift? Just been slacking off while talking to me.
おじさんにね、私が不良に絡まれてるところをケイちゃんが助けてくれたって言ったら、ねぎらってあげろって。
I told my uncle that you saved me when I was surrounded by hoodlums, so he's rewarding you.
だから店長公認で OK です。
So I have the manager's permission.
それ事実と正反対だぞ。いいのかな？
It's exactly the opposite of what happened. Is that alright?
全然いいのです。
It's perfectly fine. By the time the pancakes arrived, we'd entered into a relaxed conversation. Wow. As the two of us ate pancakes, we livened the mood with some chit-chat. About what was on TV, celebrities, that kind of thing. Hobbies, food. Really nothing more than idle chit-chat. Playing together like this, I once again became conscious of Shion being a girl. Hey now, that's funny talk, Keiichimabara. Shion and Mion are the same person. If there was anything different between them, it was only whether or not Mion admitted she was Mion. But given that, how come our conversation was this different? I want pancakes? Too damn bad!
ケイちゃんってお姉のことを女だと思ってないでしょう。
Kei-chan, you don't think of my sister as a girl, do you?
そんなことはないよ。
That's not true.
男だったら容赦なくどつき倒してる。
If she were a guy, I'd punch the living daylights out of her.
ケイちゃんとお姉が仲がいいのってそういうノンセクシャルな関係にあると思うんです。
I think the reason you guys get along so well is because you have that kind of platonic relationship.
それってなかなかできない羨ましい関係ですよ。
That's a pretty rare and enviable thing to have, don't you think?
言ってる意味がよくわかんないが。
I don't get what you're saying.
まあ確かに女にしとくにはもったいないやつだよな。
But it really would be a waste to treat her like a girl.
あ、ケイちゃん、それ男女差別ですよ。
Hey, Kei-chan, that's sexist. Hearing the word sexist was cause for introspection. What was I prejudiced against Mion and Shion for? Mion was Mion. She was the best friend a guy could have, no reservations, and head and shoulders above me when it came to club activities. If I had met her 5 years earlier, my life would have probably been a lot more fun. Of this I had no doubt. And what about Shion? She was Mion's little sister, and it hadn't even been 3 days since we met. Her relationship was much more distant, as the only thread we had in common was that I knew her sister. And for Shion, it was the same. I was somebody she met 3 days ago only because I was a friend of her sister's. The difference between Mion and Shion? Friendliness? Familiarity? Playing around with those unclear thoughts for a while, I'd stopped listening to Shion.
例えばですよ。聞いてます？
Hypothetically, okay? Are you listening?
なあごめん。うん、聞いてるよ。
Sorry, yeah, I'm listening.
例えばですよ。
This is just a hypothetical question, okay?
私とお姉が共にピンチで、
Both me and my sister are in trouble, okay?
崖にぶら下がってるとします。
We're dangling off the side of a cliff.
ケイちゃんはどっちを助けます？
Which one of us do you save?
どっちか一人だけですよ。
You can only save one. She wasn't saying it to tease me, but had a playful tone behind her voice.
嫌な問題だな。
That's not a nice question.
どっちも助けたいけど、それじゃダメなんだろ？
I want to save you both, but I can't do that, right?
ダメです。
Right.
シオンかミオンのどっちかだけです。
You could only save either Shion or Mion.
どっちですか？
Who do you save? For Mion, I don't think she'd be in this situation in the first place, as it's something she could easily get out of herself. What about the normal frail Shion? I guess I'd have no choice.
お姉じゃない
What do you want your Mion to be? I don't know. It's not my sister, right? Mion and Shion were different people. I suppose it would come to that. I couldn't confirm nor deny it. She should have been smiling, but her gaze was locked firmly to mine.
つまり、そういうことなんですよ。
In other words, that's it, isn't it?
お姉はそのつまり、
My sister is... Huh.
すみません。なんか自分で言ってて破綻しちゃいました。
Sorry, I messed up what I was trying to say. Shion was trying to talk in a lighthearted manner, but I felt that there was something more behind her words. Was Mion trying to tell me something through Shion? Not being able to put a finger on what it was vexing. Shion, to hide her embarrassment, turned the conversation around.
それよりもさっきのあれ、
More importantly, just now.
驚きましたか？
Are you surprised?
みんながどんどん集まってきて。
When everybody kept on showing up.
そりゃ驚いたよ。
Of course I was.
レナやサトコが駆けつけてくれるならともかく、
If it were Rena or Satoko, that would have been one
あ
thing.
んなに老若男女が いろいろと集まってくるんだからな。
But for all those people, young and old
あ
together,
れ全部ひなみ沢の人なんだろ？
they were all from Hinamizawa, right?
ええ、そうです。
Yeah, that's right.
ひなみ沢の人はみんな結束してるんですよ。
Everybody in Hinamizawa is pretty close-knit.
一人の敵は全員の敵。
The enemy of one is the enemy of all.
日和見なんか誰もしません。
Nobody's gonna look on from the sidelines.
結構頼もしい住民性なんですよ。
They're a pretty reliable group of residents. Yeah, well, they're not chasing me and trying to hit me with cars.
誰かがいじめられたらみんなで結束してやっつけるわけか。
If somebody's being picked on, then everybody unites to get rid of the bully.
なんだかマフィアとかヤクザみたいな結束だな。
Kinda sounds like the Mafia or the Yakuza's brand of unity.
そんなこと言っちゃダメですよ。
You shouldn't say something like
と
that.
てもありがたいことなんですから。
It's something you should be thankful for.
ケイちゃんもそれに助けられたんですよ。
You were saved by that unity, weren't you?
感謝の気持ちを忘れないように。
Never forget to show your appreciation. I half-heartedly agreed. I knew full well I should be appreciative.
ひなみ沢の人たちって本当に仲が良くて結束してるんだな。
Everybody really is close-knit, aren't they?
昔からの伝統かな。
Maybe it's because of
ひ
tradition?
なみ沢って昔からいろいろと廃村の危機に遭うんですよね。
Hinamizawa has been in danger of becoming a ghost town on several occasions.
その度に結束して戦って存続を勝ち取ってきたっていう歴史があるんですよ。
There's been a history of the villagers uniting together each time to fight for the village's continued existence.
例えば、ケイちゃん、
No, don't bring that up!
計画って知ってます？
For example, Keitan, do you know about the Hinamizawa Dam Project? Hinamizawa Dam Project? Let's see. I feel like I've heard somebody talk about it before.
10年くらい前にね、突然ここにダムができて、ひなみ沢が丸ごと水没するって話になったんですよ。
About 10 years ago, there was a sudden proposal to build a dam here, which would have submerged Hinamizawa underwater.
あ、そんな話親父かなんかに聞いたことがあるような。
Oh, that story. I think I heard my dad talk about that.
でもそれって確か中止になったんだろ？
I'm pretty sure that plan was cancelled, right?
中止にさせたんですよ。
We made them cancel it.
みんなで団結して。
Everybody banded together.
だからこれは戦って勝ち取った勝利なんです。
That was a well-earned victory. It sounded pretty much like the story I heard. The protest intensified to the point where it was featured in newspapers and magazines. As a result, the plan was suspended.
ダムの話そのものは私が生まれる前からあったらしいんです。
The whole story with the dam apparently started before I was born.
最初は候補地調査とか砂防のための小さいダムとかそんな程度の話だったんですよ。
At first, the proposal was only for exploratory purposes, or a small dam to control erosion. But then the cat was let out of the bag. If it were completed, it would have been the biggest dam in Japan. Not just Hinamizawa, but... Oops. If it were completed, it would have been the biggest dam in Japan. Not just Hinamizawa, but several villages upstream would have been submerged as well. Protests immediately began. Petitions to cancel or relocate the project were drafted and submitted to the Diet. They even went so far as to go to the Ministry of Construction in Tokyo to hand over a direct appeal to the minister. The previous landowner sued the government, stating that there were inconsistencies in the purchase agreement and the transaction should be nullified. Owners of yet unacquired land split their properties, increasing the number of landowners in order to stifle the project.
土地の買収なんていうお金の問題のうちは可愛かったんです。
It was all very precious when the land acquisition was still about money.
そのうち土地の強制収用をちらつかせるようになりましてね。
Eventually, they started relying on eminent domain in order to seize the land.
その頃からです。
It started at that point.
機動隊とかの暴力行為が目立ち始めたのは。
The riot police began to get violent.
機動隊って警察だろ？
Riot police? You mean the police? Yeah, KG.
暴力行為なんてするのかよ。
Why would they act violent? I don't know. It's in the name, buddy. Police.
殴りますよ。
They
蹴
punched.
りますよ。
They kicked.
私も殴られたことありますし、
There's a time I was hit.
この辺だったかな。
Right around here, I
皮
think.
が切れちゃったみたいで血がすごい出ました。
My skin split open and a whole bunch of blood spilled out. Saying that, Shion indicated her temple by poking at it.
警察とかには
What happened to the police? Filing a complaint against the riot police for police brutality would seem kind of strange for some reason. Naturally, they wouldn't pay heed to something like that. You wouldn't be able to establish proof on who exactly hit you, and they could justify their action by saying you're interfering with police duties.
うちのばっちゃ劣化のごとく怒り狂いましてね。
My Nana went off like a
そ
firework.
れからがすごかった。
After that, it was amazing.
もう全面戦争ですよ。
Like a full-scale
こ
war.
っちも座り込みで訴えるなんて生っちょろいことなんかしません。
We weren't just gonna sit by and idly file
ガ
complaints.
ンガン攻めました。
We went on the offensive. First, in order to call attention to the government, they filed a temporary injunction in court. Then, in order to gain public support, they called in prominent scientists to state that Himizawa was a valuable nature preserve. They pressured the prefectural and municipal assemblies, saying that the prefectural governor ignored his constituents when he approved the project, and demanded his resignation. They completely and thoroughly denounced him. Naturally, in Hinamizawa, a ferocious conflict worthy of being called the Dam War began. In order to suppress the police's brutality, they coordinated with the network channels and exposed the violence of the riot squad members to the public. On top of that, they put together a special expose themed around the government repressing the citizens and aired it nationally. It worked wonders. Following that, the SWAT teams had their hands cuffed. Day after day, the petitions and demonstrations continued. Propaganda was used to help garner support. The circle of support gradually expanded outwards from Hinamizawa. Either that bore fruit, or the government finally decided against it. It was announced that the dam project was indefinitely suspended just a few years ago.
私たちにできることなら何でもしました。
We did everything we could.
村全部が一丸になって戦ったんです。
The entire village banded together and fought.
あの時は必死だったけど、終わった今となってはいい思い出かな。
At that time, we were desperate, but now that it's over, it's actually become a pretty good memory.
村人たちの連帯感や団結心は今でも消えていないんです。
The villagers' feelings of solidarity and unity still haven't faded. Shion said that as she focused off into the distance. I felt that those eyes weren't filled with anguish, but rather a sense of pride.
そういう連帯感っていいよな。
That kind of solidarity is pretty nice.
なかなかないことだよ。
You don't see it too often.
世代を超えて地域で団結できるなんて。
Bridging the generation gap and unifying the region.
私もそう思います。
I think so too.
ダム計画は試練だったけど、それを乗り越えて得たものはとても大きいと思いますよ。
The dam project was a trial. I think that just the fact we were able to overcome it is huge. The fear I was feeling until just now gradually began to fade. When people began to show up one after another while I was engaged with those thugs, I thought it was frightening. But now, I felt from the bottom of my heart that I had been rude. The villagers prepared to defend their homeland to the death. A sense of solidarity that fostered. It might seem impudent to say this, but I was a little jealous. If I had been in Himizawa when the protest against the dams was going on, I might have been able to share in that sense of solidarity.
ケイちゃんは反対運動の時、ひなみ沢にいなかったから、村人たちの連帯感を実感できないかもしれないけど、
Kei-chan, you weren't here at the time, so I don't think you can fully feel the solidarity in the
み
village.
んなにはあるの。
But everybody shares it,
しっかりと。
thoroughly.
それはたとえ引っ越してきたばかりのケイちゃんに対してもね。
Even with somebody who just moved here like you, Kei-chan. She couldn't have been more right. So many people got together to help me out when I just moved here. Even though they were strangers whose names I didn't even know. A hot feeling began welling up inside of me. When I lived in the city, I didn't even know my own neighbors. I thought that was natural. But here, that was an absurd and pathetic thing. Even though I thought of them as strangers, all the other villagers viewed me as a comrade. Happiness and warmth. I was acutely aware of those feelings that they gradually welled up inside of me.
園崎さん、
Sonozaki-san,
店長がホール入った しいそうです。
The manager wants you to work the floor. A more senior waitress waved her hand and called out to Shion. It seemed like it was time for work.
はい、今入ります。
Okay, I'm coming.
すみません。
Sorry.
もう仕事しないとまずいみたいです。
Looks like I have to get to work now.
いいよいいよ。
It's fine.
付き合ってくれてありがとな。
Thanks for hanging out with me. It was fun.
帰っちゃいます？
Oh, are you going home?
まあな。
Yeah.
飯の時間には戻らないとお袋がうるさいし。
My mom gets fussy if I'm not home by dinner time. It seemed that Shion wanted to say something, but she swallowed her words. Like we hadn't talked enough, that kind of feeling. Looking at that expression, I regretted saying something that had disappointed me on like that. I was about to say that I could stay for a little bit longer when Shion got up from her seat.
はい、これ。
Here,
このチケットで払えばホットケーキ代も大丈夫ですから。
if you use the coupon, it should cover the pancakes as well. Saying that, she showed me a coupon booklet as she tore out a few sheets and handed them to me.
便利でしょ？
Convenient, isn't it?
お給料の他にもらえるボーナスチケットなんですよ。
It's a perk I get on top of my salary.
いいよ。
It's
ホ
okay.
ットケーキ代くらい払えるよ。
I can pay for the pancakes myself.
おやおや、
Hey, hey.
遠慮するなんてケイちゃんらしくないですよ。
Being so reserved doesn't fit you, Kei-chan.
私がお姉だったら喜んでおごられるくせに。
If I were my sister, he would have gladly let me pay for it. She said as she left, she gently stopped me from opening my wallet. Being told it was such an encouraging smile really resounded with me.
園崎さん、すみません。レジ入ってください。
Sonozaki-san, sorry, could you take care of the register?
はい、今すぐ。
Ah, yes, right away. Later, today was fun. Saying that, Shion smiled one more time at me.
なあ、ミオン。
Oh,
今日
Mion,
は本当にありがとうな。この恩は忘れないよ。
thanks a lot for today. I owe you one.
そう思うならきっと返してください。
You really think that, then return the favor.
楽しみにしてますから。
I'm looking forward to it. After I said it, I realized I mistakenly called her Mion. I didn't know if she realized it or not. What good fun. Lazing around and watching television after dinner was part of my daily routine. Might seem like a waste at first glance, but you could say it was an important time when I was able to accrue knowledge of everything from politics to economic to various trivia. After dinner was a valuable time well spent while the brain was at its most supplied with nutrients.
バカバカ。東京タワーの方が高いに決まってるだろ
You idiot, it's obvious the Tokyo Tower is taller.
う。
Ah. Aren't we having such a dandy time? Yeah! Oh, we're having such a great time. I love it. Today I tested my knowledge of trivia by watching my weekly quiz show. Sitting in front of the television, I was able to get a lot of the answers right. But if I were actually up on stage, I'd probably fail miserably. It was fun, wasn't it? Well, look, this has been fun, but I'm always terrified of what's gonna happen. I am scarred from Chapter 1. I'm always afraid. Shion started talking about the dam project, and I was like, ah, shit, here we go again. Sitting in front of the television, I was able to get a lot of the answers right. But if I were actually up on stage, I'd probably fail miserably. Who's calling? Keiichi.
園崎さんから電話よ。
Phone call from Sonozaki-san.
ないよ。
Okay.
園崎
Sonozaki?
ミオンか。
It's Mion. It was a little late for her to be calling. I had a bad feeling about this. I had a hunch it was something to do with club activities. She's probably going to inform me about what we were doing tomorrow. This was Mion we're talking about. She might even go as far to say we're doing club activities right now, so hurry up and come over. By the way, it was 8 p.m.
もしもし。
Hello?
今から部活の野戦ってのは却下だぞ。
No way we're having a club battle right now. Huh?
なくて、その、
That's not it. I mean... It was Mion, but it was a very un-Mion-like way of talking. Huh? Could it be?
ごめん。
Sorry.
ひょっとしてミオンじゃなくてシオンか？
Could it be you're not Mion, but Shion?
そうです。
That's right.
どうもこんばんは。
Good evening.
夜分遅くにすみません。
Sorry for calling so late. For Mion, this would have been an ill-fittingly polite way of talking. But since it was Shion, it was natural. Even though they were both the same person. With a dry smile, I enjoyed that mysterious feeling.
いや別にいいよ。
No, it's fine.
それより何の用だい？
What's up?
ケイちゃんはケーキとかデザートとか甘いものは好きですか？
Kei-chan, do you like sweets, like cakes or desserts? Game just wants you to run you a few things. I'll keep writing it down. I haven't written shit. There's no way I hated them. I'm an unabashed glutton.
ならよかったです。
That's great.
実はですね、夏の新デザートコンテストってのがありまして。
Actually, there's a new dessert contest this summer. Looks like they have a new dessert menu every season. So they were hiring taste testers for potential desserts.
エンジェルモートのデザートはかなり評判いいんですよ。
The desserts at Angel Mart have a good reputation.
モニターの募集もかなり倍率高いんです。
It's pretty difficult to get accepted as a taste tester.
それで担当直入な話。じゃ
I'll get right to the point. Ta-da!
じゃーんと言われても見えないからわからないけど、ひょっとして。
You say ta-da, but I can't see over the phone. Still, could it
ー
be...
ん、そうです。
That's right!
そのモニターチケットがここにあるってわけです。
I have a taste testing ticket right here.
もしも甘いものが嫌いじゃないならいかがですか？
If you don't mind sweets, how about it?
いかがですかって、つまりなんだよ。
When you say how about it, you basically
そ
mean...
のチケットで俺が新デザートを食い放題と、そういうわけなのか？
With that ticket, I can eat all the new desserts I want? They say to beware of honey pots. This is sweeter than any pot of honey. All you can eat free dessert? No way.
OK ならモニター当選者の末番に名前を書いておきますね。
If you're okay with that, I'll register you as a taste tester.
明日お店に来たら係の者に名前を言ってください。
When you come to the restaurant tomorrow, just give the person in charge your name.
それで万事 OK ですから。
Then everything will work out.
万事 OK って。それで食べ放題なのか？
When you say everything will work out, you mean all you can eat?
無料なのか？
For free?
無料です。
Yeah, it's free.
結構ありますからお腹を空かせてくることをお勧めします。
It's quite a bit, so I recommend you come hungry. This was such a delectable opportunity, it was almost scary. This was really Shion, right? It wasn't Mion posing as Shion in order to bait me into a trap, was it? What am I saying? They're the same person.
はいはい。
Yeah,
ケ
yeah.
イちゃんの考えてることは分かってますよ。
I know exactly what you're thinking, Kei-chan.
そんな美味しい話があるわけないって思ってるんでしょ？
You're thinking this is too good to be true, right?
ギク。いや、そんなことは全然。
I mean, I would never...
お姉から聞いてますけど、つくづく嘘のつけない人なんですね。
I heard from my sister, but you're really somebody who can't tell a lie.
私、そういうの嫌いじゃないです。
I'm not averse to somebody like that. Shion laughed with a voice that sounded a lot like how Mion would laugh.
下心ってわけじゃないんですけど、
It's not like I was intending on
実
it,
は私、明日はちょっとバイトしたらすぐに終わりなんです。
but it just so happens that my shift ends early tomorrow.
もしもご迷惑じゃなかったら、その後ちょっとご一緒してもらってもいいかなって思いまして。
If it's not a bother, I thought maybe we could spend a little time together after I'm done.
へえ、明日のバイトはすぐ終わっちゃうんだ。
Your shift ends early tomorrow?
はい。
Yeah.
だから、ケイちゃんがデザート食べながらのんびりしてるうちに終わっちゃうんです。
So while you take your time eating desserts, I'll finish up.
まあ、俺も特に用事はないし、
Well, I didn't have any plans anyway.
多少付き合うくらいなら構わないよ。
I don't mind hanging out with you for a bit.
別にどこかに行くわけでもないです。
It's not like we have to go
夕
anywhere.
涼みしながらお散歩でもできたらなって思ってるだけですから。
I was thinking we could cool off in the evening while we take a walk. There's no reason for me to refuse. Out of courtesy, I might as well take her up on her offer.
そういえば、ケイちゃんと私ってなんだか毎日会ってますよね。
By the way, Kei-chan, you and I have been meeting up every day, haven't we?
言われてみればそうだな。
Now that you say it, I guess we have.
でも OK してもらえたおかげでまた明日も会える口実を作ることができました。
Since you said okay, we have an excuse to meet again tomorrow. Huh? What was Mion saying?
ケイちゃん、なんだか声が裏返ってます。
Kei-chan, your voice just cracked.
どうしたんでしょうね。
What's the matter? It wasn't a video phone, but she could tell I was beat red.
じゃあ明日きっと来てくださいね。
Well, then you should definitely come tomorrow.
それじゃあこれで失礼します。おやすみなさい。
I'll take my leave here. Good night.
あ、おやすみ。
Good night. Shion finished what she had called to say, ended the conversation without any chit-chat. When I returned to the living room after hanging up the phone, the TV was already off and my mom was sleeping in the rocking chair. Not feeling like turning the TV back on, I went back upstairs and returned to my room.
俺、シオンに世話になってばかりだよな。
I've only been receiving favors from Shion, haven't I? She brought me a bento and saved me when I got involved with those thugs. She's supposed to be a different person, so I could thank Mion at school. Come to think of it, she'd probably just say she'll pass it on to her sister. I have to thank Shion directly. Tomorrow I'll have to repay her somehow. Wow. Can love truly bloom? Oh, that's the chapter. Let's read these tips and we'll finish the stream for tonight. We'll finish up a bit early, since we started the stream late. They survived. That's what I'm always thinking when we get through a chapter. Few new tips. It's creepy ass music.
で俺たちが逮捕されなきゃなんねんだろ。
Just why are you arresting us?
とらってんじゃねえ。話さんけこれ。
Bullshit. Let go of me.
クマちゃん、腕を離してあげていいですよ。さささ、どうぞおかげになって。
Kuma-chan, you can let go of their arms now. Here, please, sit down. The three people rubbed their arms painfully. Kumagai-kun and the others must have been squeezing them pretty tightly.
お兄さんたち誤解しないでくださいよ。
Don't get me wrong.
別に逮捕したわけじゃないんだから。
I haven't arrested you or
ク
anything.
マちゃん、冷蔵庫から冷たいの出してあげてください。
Kuma-chan, go get me something cold from the fridge,
お
please.
兄さんたちは泡の出る麦茶と出ない麦茶どっちがいいです？
Would you like your barley with foam or without?
ん？
Hmm? They plunked down onto the reception sofa, and despite not yelling anymore, they still had dangerous expressions. What I'd give to be young again.
飲まないなら私勝手に飲んじゃいますよ。失礼してピシッと。
I'll drink even if you don't, you know. Excuse me for helping myself. Enjoy it, Uishi.
勤務中に飲むビールが一番美味しいですね。
Beer is best when you drink it on the job. As he downed the beer with glee, the three people exchanged glances, then finally reached out for their cans. They hadn't stopped being cautious. It was more like they didn't see a reason to refuse. They each opened their cans and began to drink the contents.
お兄さんたちはどっから来たんです？ここいらの人じゃないでしょ
Where'd you guys come from? Not from around here.
う。
They looked at each other again, suspicious of whether they should tell him.
お兄さんたち大学生？お友達同士？
Are you all college students? Friends on a trip?
バイクか何かで旅行中だったんでしょうかね。
You're probably traveling on bikes or something.
羨ましいな。
Sounds like fun I wish I was having.
家は近くってわけじゃないんでしょ？どっから来たの？
You don't live close by, do you? Where'd you come from?
大阪ですかな？
Osaka, perhaps?
んなのどこでもいいだろ。
What's that matter to you?
まあまあそうすごまないで。あのままいたらお兄さん方だってやばかったでしょ？
Now, there's no use trying to intimidate me. You would have all been in a lot of trouble if I'd left you there, right? They seemed to recall the thrilling event from earlier. Well, they could understand getting surrounded by students or a gang or something along those lines. They would never have been surrounded by locals, both young and old, both men and women before. It was easy to imagine how scared they must have been.
ここいらの人間ならどんな間違いがあってもひなみ沢の人間には手出ししないですよ。
If you were
そ
for...
この連中は特殊なんです。
I'm sorry for talking over you, Uishi. If you were from here, the people of Hinamizawa wouldn't have done anything to you, no matter what you had done wrong. They're all special.
子供の喧嘩に親は出てくるな、なんてもんじゃない。一人をいじめたら、それこそ村中が総出でやってきますよ。
Not in the sense of parents not wanting to get involved in their children's fights. If one person gets bullied, the village will come out in full force.
いや、ほんと、脅しでもなんでもなく。
That's not just an idle threat, you know. They couldn't argue against that. They themselves had been surrounded. They'd seen it with their own eyes. There's no doubt about it.
ここいらじゃねえ。ひなみ沢の人間に睨まれたら、あっさり鬼隠しにあって消えちまうんです。
Around these parts, if the people of Hinamizawa give you a glare like that, you'll simply get demoned away and no one will hear from you again.
おお、跡形もなく忽然と。
You'll suddenly disappear without a
お
trace.
兄さん方、行方不明になったら誰か捜索願いを出してくれるご家族はいます？いないならまずいな。
You all have families that would get the police to search for you if you went missing? If not, then that's bad.
蒸発扱いですよ。
You'll vanish and that'll be the end of it. Even then, we got there soon enough that nothing happened. If we'd been late, things could have taken a turn for the worse. If they'd been forced into an alleyway, these young men wouldn't be sitting on a couch right now. They might be lying on an autopsy table. Well, probably not. Anyway. Guess they'd be a little more cooperative if we found them as corpses.
お兄さん方、沖宮へは何で来たの？電車？
How'd you all get to Okinomiya? By train?
バイク？
By bike?
バイク。
Bike.
そりゃまずいな。さっきのとこにまだ止めっぱなしなんでしょ？
That's not good. They're still parked there, aren't they?
あんたらのこのことバイクを取りに戻ったら、今度こそ袋叩きに会いますよ。
If you go waltzing in to get them back, they really might gang up on you.
なんだよそれ。
No, sir, we'll take them all.
父さんやけな。
Calm down, calm down. Our younger people these days so quick with the shouting.
あんたらももう面倒ごとはごめんでしょう。バイクのナンバー教えてください。
You don't want any more trouble, right? Tell me the bike license plate
こ
numbers.
こまで持ってきてあげますから。
I'll bring them here for you.
クマちゃん、交通課対策にゲート車を借りてきてください。
Kuma-chan, please borrow the loading truck we use for traffic disasters.
えせ。
Got it.
別にいいよ。自分たちで取りに行くからいいって。
It's fine. We'll get them ourselves.
あんたら本気で囲まれたいんですか。今度は警察間に合わないかもしれませんよ。
You really want to get surrounded again? The police may not be fast enough to save you this time.
大丈夫だっつってんだろ。囲み上等で。
It's fine, innit? If we surround it, they're gonna get knocked down.
おい、お兄さん
Are we serious? Hey, you three.
あんたら今、泡の出る麦茶飲んだろ。
You're drinking the barley with foam, right?
エンジンかけてみろ。
Try turning your engines on.
その場で飲酒取るぞ、こら。
I'll arrest you on the spot for drunk driving.
汚ねえ。
You. That's fucking dirty.
警察が税金使って兄さん方のバイクを運びして死んぜよって言ってんだよ。ごちゃごちゃ言わねえで、ナンバー言えってんだよ、このクソバカ野郎。
He got mad. Your tax dollars will be put to good use bringing in all your bikes back here. Quit complaining and tell me the goddamn license plate numbers, you pieces of shit. The three were hesitant to tell him the numbers. They were mumbling something along the lines of not remembering them since they just bought the bikes. Oh, that's what I thought.
クマちゃん、ゲート車に同行してバイク持ってきてあげて。
Kuma-chan, go to the truck and bring the bikes back.
ごつい赤いやつとテールランプの右側が割れたやつ。
Get the tough-looking red Yamaha, the one with the broken right tail
あ
light.
とシートにガムテ貼ってあった白いやつ。
And the white one that had the packing tape stuck to the seat.
それだろ。
It's those ones.
兄さんたちのバイク。
They belong to you, right? They didn't answer. Those must be the right ones.
おいさん、ゲート車来ましたんで行ってきます。
Oishi-san, the truck is here, so I'll get going.
はいはい、よろしくお願いします。あと、くまちゃん、ちょっと。
Yes, yes, please do. Wait, Kuma-chan, hold on, one more thing.
なんすか？
What's up?
ナンバー紹介しといてください。間違ったバイクを持ってきちゃうと悪いから。
Look up the numbers. You don't want to bring the wrong ones back. The three people's faces changed color. They made themselves very easy to understand.
バイク戻ってくるまでのんびりしてましょうよ。ビールもっとありますよ。
Let's take it easy here until your bikes get back. There's more beer, you know.
乾き物だってありますし。
We have some snacks, too.
テレビ見ます？
Want to watch TV?
ろくなのやってませんけどね。
There's probably nothing on, though.
いいよ、俺たちもう行くから。こんなとこにいつまでもいたくねえよ。
Nah, thanks. We's leaving. Don't want to hang here forever. Suddenly, there were 5 or 6 huge officers surrounding them. Their clearly overpowering stares nailed them to the sofa.
なんだよ。俺たちが何かしたかよ。
What? What did we do? Going on a trip by stealing motorcycles, huh? Students these days have too much time on their hands. Creepy ass music. Good ass music. Wow. No. Quit game. It's done. It's over. That's Higurashi for tonight. We'll be playing more on Thursday. We started the stream late tonight, but I'll try and be on time on Thursday. A good stream. So true. I'm gonna need that CG. A fucking Shion putting her arm in front of Keiichi. I didn't know that was from Higurashi. But I'm gonna need it. It will be the thumbnail. I think that's all I'll need too, is just that CG. I think it'll make a fine enough thumbnail on its own. Maybe a bit lazy, but whatever, sue me. But that's it for tonight, y'all. I'll try and stream on time next time. I did start late today. But I'll actually try and be on time and actually stream on Thursday and not do it again. And I'll also try and do Dark Souls on Saturday. I did want to do Dark Souls, but I was dog sitting. So shit happens. But I will catch you all next time. Bitches.